Game Pass news, folks. Today we're recapping all 30 games. If I read what I wrote, life would be so much better. That Xbox presentation at their E3 showing. There's a lot here, folks, so you better buckle up for some Xbox goodness. Who is piloting this thing today, you ask? Your regulars, myself, Nick, and my faithful co-host Sean, who now is like a Sea of Thieves pirate. And back, because he loves us so very much, Mr. Tim Off, the mastermind of Discord, the Ndad himself. How are you doing, Mr. Off?
I see what you guys are doing. You're trying to convert me from being just a Nintendo guy to an Xbox guy, right? Is this your guys' ultimate plan?
You better believe it. That's what we're gonna taint the entire Nintendo Dad's Discord by the time this is done.
It's the only time where having a little bit of something on the side is allowed.
And that sultry
there we
voice
go.
you hear right there, that voice is Mr. Sean Abbott. How are you doing, sir?
I am so tired.
Well, stop being a pirate in the middle of the night. That wouldn't happen.
Well, it was crazy. Lindsay was really tired last night, so like at 10:30, she was like, "Oh, I'm going up to bed because I'm up early in the morning going swimming." I was like, "Yeah, okay. I'm just going to jump on Sea of Thieves for an hour just to see like maybe do a voyage, see what it's really like." and then I got on with a really good crew, and I looked up and it was like 20 to 2 in the morning. I was like, So like talking to the guys, I was like, we really need to wrap up. Like we'd done loads of vault runs and stuff like that. I was like, we need to go and sell all these chests, and like I need to go to bed. Can we do that, please? But it's not a very fast game, so if you're in the middle of the ocean and you've got a load of chests, you need to go to the outpost to sell all the chests, and you can't like. It's taking me back to the Animal Crossing days, but you can't batch sell chests. So like you've got to get this really good relay run where like one guy's taking them out of the hold on the ship and dropping them on the pier. The guy's then running along the pier, dropping them on the beach, and then the guy's running them from the beach to the tent. It's just like you kind of had this relay of people running. It's just, but man, it was so cool. And they showed me so much stuff. Like I leveled up loads, made loads of gold. So yeah, had a really good and like got to grips with it. So like when you're sailing around and stuff like that, there's like got to be a man there's got to be a man steering at all time on the wheel, and then a guy managing the sails, and a guy like looking out for other stuff and like making sure that we're staying on the right bearing and things like that. And it's you definitely need a crew of people. So
well, I will be happy to be in your crew when the time comes. I just realized I forgot to update. Our Twitch. So it looks like we're playing Sea of Thieves if you look at our thing. So whoops, my bad. I'm sorry. Happened again. So that I don't think I can do it while we're in, but I'll try. I'll see. Why is Sean all about Sea of Thieves all of a sudden? Because there was big news from the Xbox Bethesda podcast presentation that happened on Sunday. So tell me, what were your overall thoughts, guys, about this thing? Where we'll talk about each game individual, but just overall, what did you think? How'd they do?
Go on, Tim first. I'm trying to update.
That's okay. I was gonna say I thought it was well done. They had a nice stream of information. It was very. I'm a loss of words apparently. So it's just that there. It was about the game
talking. Is that what you're trying to say? Like it was just like boom, 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 boom.
It was very, they had a few points where, it was a break with the talking, but it was basically, here's what we're going to talk about. Here's what it's about. Here's the games. And then it was all boom, boom, games. And this is again, what I like is, we were joking about me being a Nintendo guy and switching over to Xbox. I've been mainly PlayStation being my second not podcast, but my second console of choice for the last up 10 years. But with Xbox and what they've been doing, they made it a lot easier for someone like me who doesn't have an Xbox to game and look forward to all of the things they talked about in this presentation.
Yeah, and I would agree. I really liked the flow that they had going in the thing. How quick it was. They didn't spend a lot of time chatting or talking about how amazing they are, which seems to be a thing that some of these presentations like to do. Um, they really saved that for afterwards. Which I thought was a really good marketing beat to not blow your horn in the presentation, but drop a good presentation and then blow your horn afterwards. How well you.
Yeah, and that's kind of like what we saw with some of the other presentations, or the lack of new things, or the lack of.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people like saying that the drought of Xbox exclusives is now over, and that they did a really good job of basically showcasing everything that's going to be coming. I mean, my feelings were I wasn't completely blown out of the water. There wasn't like one thing where I thought, "Oh my god, that's amazing! I can't wait." Pre-order it like now because I don't have to because of everything coming to Game Pass apart from free games, which was amazing. But it's just a steady release of really good games coming, and an introduction to some titles that I probably wouldn't have thought of playing, like Sea of Thieves. But with the additional content that's now coming, it's kind of pushed me into wanting to play it. So yeah, and like graphically, if they can pull off Forza Horizon like they have graphically and stuff like that, that was the big showcase where they had a lot of people talking and things like, because obviously there's
Right,
so many different aspects of that game that they needed to show. Yeah, they did well. I've not watched many others, so I don't really have a feel for it, but we can probably compare it to Nintendo's later on this evening.
Well, for me, the Xbox One is the top one of E3 right now. So next to Devolver, which was just hilarious for me to watch. So
those are always crazy.
They're crazy, and it was hilarious. They always do well. They do well putting their stuff together. So, but yeah, that's overall. I think right now Xbox is the one to beat.
I would agree with that. I also, Sean, I think you're right. They were really good games, but Xbox at the moment, Halo looks great, but I don't know. I was more grabbed by the Xbox showcase footage than I was from what I saw at Infinite. Just I don't know what it was about it, but it didn't grab me the same way. I'm certainly gonna play it. Obviously, I'm gonna love it. I thought it was great. I wasn't over the moon for any one title really. I will say also the fact that we knew Game Pass was going to be a big focus, and they hit that out of the park, having most of these games come to Game Pass. That's great for Xbox fans. Anybody who loves Game Pass should be over the moon for that. But yeah, there wasn't one title. I too believe, from what I've saw, I didn't watch every presentation, but I watched quite a few of them, that Xbox has the top spot at the moment. But I think that Xbox left enough room in there, man, that Nintendo could. I mean, it won't take it just a few good drops, and Nintendo will be the only thing we remember from E3. And I don't think they could certainly do that.
Yeah, the thing is with Nintendo that they don't have a subscription service, which is why I think Xbox will probably sit on that top spot, because what they've done is this is a huge amount of brilliant games that they're coming out in a steady stream of releasing them,
and it's easy to access. It's accessible.
Yep.
So
that's it. Yeah, for like what is it, $10.99 a month? I think I pay $11.99 because I've got my Xbox Gold included. So that's like £12 a month. Every month, I'm gonna get this super steady stream of games. So that's like £120 for the year, and there's like 30 games I'm going to get. If each game was £60 each, they'd have more money from me that way. So revenue wise, they slightly shoot themselves in the foot, because most people would go and buy all those, especially like Halo Infinite. People would buy Halo Infinite for £60 just to play the online. Like, I don't play that. I've not played a campaign for any of the Call of Duty games since Modern Warfare 3. So, like, and it's still the same now. Like for Warzone and stuff, Modern Warfare and Cold War, I haven't played either of the campaigns, but I paid £60 for each game. So,
overall, for me as a new Xbox player, I was impressed by the games that were presented, and there were a handful that grabbed me that I'm like, I gotta play this. And thankfully they're all going to be, if I remember correctly, they're all going to be on Game Pass. So and so far, from what I can tell, it will be Game Pass accessible via either the cloud or the PC. I'll have to look back at the list again, but if and I'll talk about the one game that actually will make me probably buy an Xbox if it's not available via the routes that I can access it. But yeah, there is one game for me. So, and we'll talk about that.
Cool. The last thing I'll say is that they will. I agree. They'll probably hold the top spot, Sean, but it'll be hard to tell until later on the date because they need to hold these release dates. Like they need to really hold these release dates. If they all start falling into 2022 and the 2022 ones start falling into 2023, which has been the thing that has happened recently with these bigger titles, they'll probably lose in the long run. They might win the show in the short term, but in the long run they won't make it.
Well, that's why I think we didn't see any promises for things like Fable and stuff like that. There was a couple of games they mentioned, but just did not even touch like date or to give us any kind of teaser about, because they're obviously big ones that they can't really hold on to anything for at the moment. So I've got a feeling they've played wise, but like you say, anything can change. All it takes is for COVID to rear its head all over again, and we all end up back in. Yeah, exactly. I mean, all Nintendo need to do later on is just drop Metroid. If they drop Metroid, and boom, they've got the top spot for me.
Tim gets to scream. So, that's all Tim's gonna do. He's just gonna he's gonna go crazy. I can't imagine what it'll be like. I'll be there.
Yeah, the meme where what's his name is going. That's gonna be me.
Jonah Hill.
Yeah. Yes. Jonah Hill thing. I'm gonna be screaming like whoever with a high pitched voice.
Love it. All right, so let's jump into what some of these games are. We're gonna touch on them a little bit differently. We are gonna go through them from the first one you get to play, which is some of are already out. The first ones you get to play and go to the furthest release date out. Which the furthest release date that they released was 2023. So let's talk about the first game, Yakuza Like a Dragon. Have you guys played these at all?
I've not played any of the Yakuza ones, and looking from the trailer, they just look like madness. And I think Jesse even commented saying that is pretty much the gist of it, is that you spend the entire time confused and bewildered by what's actually going on.
Yeah, I am interested in trying this game for one reason, and it will be a game that I stream. Only because if you listen to Game Scoop, IGN's podcast, they went through a period of time for probably a month of podcasts, which is very odd for them. They don't Damon, their host, really seems to kind of try to move the content so that you're not talking about the same thing. But in fact, on one of the last podcast they talked about it, he even said, "This will be the last podcast we talk about Yakuza, I promise." Like they were all really addicted to it. And for that reason, I mean, those group of guys, I usually align with their tastes. So I will probably give this a try. I can say one of the things that they chatted about was this is a different genre of Yakuzas. Like they took it from a brawler to an RPG in this one. And I know this only because of GameScoop. And that if there's a place to jump in, you play as a whole new character, and so the story kind of changes because there's 7 of these things all in, maybe more than that. This is the place to jump in. So I think I am gonna jump in, since they say this is the place to jump in, and at least give it a go. And but that is out right now. And It did look crazy, though. I will say there was somebody shot an egg from a chicken's butt. I mean, man, let me tell you, it looked crazy. There's no doubt about that. John, why don't you take the next one since you're the pirate?
Yeah, so the next one is the reason why I was up until 2 o'clock this morning, and why I currently have my pirate hat right next to me. Here we go. I'll stick it on while I talk about this bit.
There you go. Yeah.
Sea of Thieves, the Pirates of the Caribbean DLC drop. That's coming out end of this month, June 22nd, and it's a free DLC drop, which, given the size of the game and what you can do online, is an amazing thing to do. I think it falls in line with Season 2 of the game ending. So this will be the beginning of Season 3, which they have a battle pass system, like a season pass system. So,
okay.
Which is probably why the DLC is free, because a lot of people will buy the season pass because you can unlock loads of cool little bits and pieces. So I will probably be one of those people. So yeah, it looked ace. The introduction of like Captain Jack Sparrow and like bringing in Tortuga as well as Davy Jones.
Yeah,
it's just basically bringing the whole Disney World into that game, which it fit perfectly because the art style of the game is pretty much there. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to sail around and listen to. I think it might have been Johnny Depp. I don't know, but the voice was pretty close.
Yeah, it did pretty good. Yeah.
Plus, it's something I can play with with the kids, so like the kids can either like join in or at least watch and stuff like that. Because there's not much violence to it, and there's no bad language and stuff like that. So it's a pretty good game to be playing while the kids are around, rather than stuff that I normally play.
Sure. Yeah.
I was excited to see that license come over because it's. I was listening to XEP. I don't know if you guys listen to Insipid Ghosts, Luke Lore.
Yeah, every once in a while. Yeah.
Yeah, he had Miles Dumper from Windows Central on, and they were doing a recap as well. Like essentially, I think right after the show, they did a recap. So, but they were talking about Sea of Thieves, and they said something that I agreed with totally, and it was like the Pirates of the Caribbean makes so much sense that nobody saw it coming or expected it. Essentially, it was like, yeah, that makes sense. Why didn't we all see Disney working with them to do that? So
yeah,
it was pretty cool. Once it was done, I was like, oh yeah, duh. And I've always been excited about the Sea of Thieves game, and I'm excited that it is on xCloud. It hopefully still is. Well, I think all first party games stay on xCloud, but anyways, it's or I should say Game Pass Cloud, if I'm supposed
Game
to say
Pass
it correctly.
yeah.
So yeah, Game Pass Cloud. But I have the opportunity now to try it out and play it there. It's just, man, that game, like you said, Sean, it is a time suck, and you got to dedicate time, and you got to have a crew to be a part of too, in order to have a good time with it.
The guys that I joined last night, I think, were PC players because they weren't really talking. They were listening to me talk, and then their response would be they were typing. They must have been typing it out, and then it was kind of like doing text to speech for me in the headset. So I had like the bog standard guy going computer voice kind of talking to me, but they could hear me, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll probably jump in. I'll probably jump in and see what it's all about. I don't know that I'll be able to stick with it. But if I love it, I will. I will say I'm with you, Tim. Like when Sea of Thieves first came out, I didn't have an Xbox at that time, and I remember like just looking at it, being like, I mean, I love pirate games. I think they're great, and I was like, oh. I used to play Sid Meier's pirate like all the time, and I was just thinking, man, this game looks so cool. I'd love to play this game. So, yeah, I definitely want to give it a shot. We'll see. We'll see if we stick with it. It'd be great if they can find more of these and kind of do a Fortnite thing, because I think it got a lot of Xbox community talking about it that otherwise wasn't talking about this game at all. So
yeah, I mean that's it. It highlighted it for me. I didn't even know that game existed.
Oh,
so
really?
I completely missed that. So it's kind of like, yeah,
cool.
It's the new Warzone for me, I think.
Oh wow, that's a big statement from Sean Abbott. Wow.
Yeah, definitely.
All
Nice.
right.
I can't wait to see those TikTok videos.
Yeah.
You should watch the last bit of the stream that I did this morning. I completely moored my ship, my sloop. I drove it straight inland. I dropped the anchor, like trying to stop, shorten the sail and drop the anchor. It didn't do it in time, so I completely moored the boat.
Oh,
Had
man.
holes in it and everything.
That's awesome. All right, the next thing. See, this is the problem. There's so much. Like this is another one where I'm like, well,
Yes.
this one looks neat. So Grounded has DLC, been out for I want to say about a year. I think came out before actually even the Xbox S and X came out. I think. But the new update is the Shroom and Doom update, available June 30th. And when this was showing in the Xbox showcase, I remember saying, well, this game looks really fun. You're fighting these little bug guys, like spiders and stuff. But no fear, there's an arachnophobia mode where it'll take away the spiders. That was great.
I thought that was scary. You just had this blob here.
Yeah. I think that's great. You know, I mean, it's silly, and I know we'll like chuckle at it, but you know, if a developer can think what ways can what I'm doing right now prevent somebody from playing my game and counteract it, I think that's fantastic. I have no problems with that. I think it's great.
Right.
So, you know what? I mean, there's just all these games. Like, I'd love to try this game out. It'd be great. Do I have the time to try out half of these zillion games they release? No, I definitely do not. Not even.
Sure, you can. Come on, you can take a day off.
Yeah, I know. Take a month off is what I'd have to do.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. The only thing that swung me to do Sea of Thieves rather than Grounded was just the pirate theme, because Grounded is very much Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the video.
Yeah,
game.
no, you're totally right. That's a good.
So,
that's a good description.
like, in terms of nostalgia, I love my 80s shows and nostalgia, hence the T-shirt. So, yeah, I'd have been all over that, but unfortunately, pirateering kind of won.
I don't blame you. So
you can blame Goonies for that, right?
Yeah.
So here's the next one you got, Sean, right? Because you said wait, I gotta ask this question. First off, they released Fallout 76 DLC Steel Rain. I'll actually let you take this, Sean, because I had no idea. I was confused at the end of this what the DLC was actually even doing, quite frankly.
So I've not played any of Fallout 76, but if it's going to follow the same trend as Fallout 4, there's the super mutants and the Brotherhood of Steel are obviously in constant battle with each other, because the super mutants obviously want to take control of the wasteland, but the Brotherhood of Steel are there as the policing force of justice in Fallout 4. And I think that's what they're carrying this on into 76. I haven't actually... so far on Fallout 76, all I've done is create the character, which you didn't save, so I've got to do that again. And I walked out of the bedroom. And then I was like, right, okay, cool. I'll leave it at this point, because that's where I'm going to keep the stream off. So, but it didn't save to creating the character. So when I do a stream of it, it'll be from creating the character all the way through to getting out and actually doing some missions. So I've not actually seen what the wasteland is like. I've not done any. I've not wanted to spoil the game for myself either, because I am a big Fallout fan. I've played all of them, including Shelter on the mobile. So I didn't want. I've not read into it to figure out where the story goes with it and stuff like that. But it's nice to see them updating the story side of things with some DLC, because if it's anything like Fallout 4, it's a massive game. If they've figured out the glitches that they had in Fallout 4, because there was a lot of them, one that stopped you from playing it completely, and some that kind of like annoyed me a little bit when I played it through. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm going to try and play Fallout 76, but it all depends on how many voyages and stuff I get done. But yeah, it's on my list. It's still in the dashboard, so it is on my list of things to do.
Timmy, you played any Fallout?
I have not. It's again another game series that I've been interested in, because I like the premise of each of the stories. I did play the mobile game. I'll say that. I guess I did play a Fallout, but it was the mobile one, so the shelter one. So, and this intrigued me. 76 intrigued me because of the ability to play, in a shared world with other players. But I didn't have a system to play it on, I take it back. I had a PS4 where I guess I could have played it on, but because I heard so many bad things about it, I just kind of like, I'll wait until they iron some things out. So it is something that I would love to try, like Sean, So I think this is also on. Yeah, it is. I think on
xCloud, yeah.
Game Pass.
It's on
Pass
Game,
there,
yeah.
so.
There, and that's the other news about this. They're all on Game Pass now, or darn close. I don't want to say. I don't know if all of them are there, but they added the 3 or 4 more: Fallout Tactics, Fallout 2, Fallout 3.
Yeah,
I mean,
Fallout. I mean, if you want to get into it, Fallout 3 was a really good one, and it's been out long enough now that graphically it's not going to chew any like performance out of if it's available for PC. It's not going to chew the PC to pieces, and it shouldn't be heavy on the battery if you're doing it on a mobile or a tablet. But like the storyline for free was really good. And it kind of it's a nice gentle way to break into the series because Fallout 4's got a lot of crafting side of things, which is quite heavy to get into as well.
yeah, I loved the bit I played of Fallout 4. A very small bit I played of Fallout 4. I mean, relative to that game, it's huge. But I couldn't move forward because Codsworth wouldn't talk to me. So, and I've talked about that numerous times on this show, so I'm sorry. But it always irks me a little bit. Maybe one day I'll give it another shot. Anything else on Fallout?
No. I mean, other than the date for the DLC is July 7th, so that's coming quite quickly. So I can either wait for the DLC to drop and do the whole thing and we can review the DLC as well, or I will try and play a little bit beforehand. But I am promising anything.
Wait until the DLC.
Okay.
This way you can voyage for a couple weeks before you even got to worry about it. Do the Pirates of Caribbean voyages. Wait, that's what I say. But you do you. July 27th. Flight Simulator is on a console. That's right. You can use your entire storage to fly a plane.
I didn't think it was coming for console. I thought it was just PC only.
I thought it was coming to console.
Okay, I'm going to double check that really quickly.
Sean's going to check that while have you played Flight Simulator? I swear that was the big drop. It's coming to console, but
Oh, no, yeah, it is. Available everywhere.
Oh, thank you. I was like, man, I thought that was the big news. It's been available on PC for a while. Okay.
Yeah, I'll shush.
I haven't played it.
You're fine.
No, but it looks beautiful, and that's the exciting part for me and I think, Nick, you mentioned this during the show when we were watching it, during the presentation, that when you were in college, you would just put it on and let it fly autopilot, and on that version of Flight Simulator. But it seems like a very, very chill game, relaxing game to just get in and fly around. And I actually like going into Google Earth and exploring things that way, So it'd be interesting to see if I can get on there. This is not Game Pass, if I remember correctly.
Not if it's Play Everywhere. Did you say it's Play Everywhere, Sean?
Yeah, it's got all 3 symbols.
Does it have Game Pass? Oh, okay. Well, then that makes it easier. So I guess I'll be trying that one too.
Yeah, check.
That's the wonderful thing about Game Pass.
Check that if it's on Game Pass. Is it on Game Pass too?
It's on that little list that we made.
Nice.
I think okay. Yeah, the great thing about this game is I think at least, is to play it exactly like that. So, like the intense parts, and the great part is it can be as intense as you want it to be, or it can be as easy as you want it to be. You can have to press every little knob and make sure you're doing every little thing, or you can really dumb it down to being able to play as you can let a lot of that be auto done by the game. And then, so your intense parts, obviously taking off and landing, and flying around is fairly simple. You put it on autopilot for your next destination, and you just look around. And sometimes I remember I would be doing something and I'd be like, oh, what's that over there? And so I take control of it and go fly over there and see what it was, and then put it back on auto and let it go, go back to whatever I had to do. It is a super fun game to play. It also takes a lot of space, so just be aware. So.
Yeah.
It is on Game Pass for PC. So
For PC.
good for me.
Good for you. Not so good for. So it's not on Game Pass for console?
Well, it just says right now, available now with Game Pass.
Oh,
for
okay.
PC.
Yeah. So July 27th will be for console.
Okay. All right. Console. So cool. There you go. This next one, this one cracked me up, man. Like DLC for this, the Top Gun DLC. I really thought this was a brand new, like, gonna be a shooter game. I was like, at first, and I made a crack even. I was like, oh, maybe this is. I really was joking, but no. There's Top Gun DLC. You can fly off of carriers, which actually you could do in I'm sure you can still do. You could do in the old game when I was in college too. There was a random carrier out in the ocean that you could take off from and land.
I thought it was funny you were shocked because I was mentioning, I said, hey, it says Maverick on his helmet, so it must be Top Gun.
No, I
And
knew
I
it
don't
was
know if
Top
you-
Gun. I just
okay.
didn't think it was hooked to Flight Simulator.
Yeah,
Okay.
It was the same for me. I was thinking, oh wow, this is cool. Like, because they're dropping a new film soon, or they've dropped a new film. I can't remember
Right.
if it's out or not. So,
That's
like,
funny.
is this going to be like a dogfighting style, like homage to the original film or anything? And then, boom, it was like DLC for
That's funny
2021.
because I totally was like, oh, this is cool, Top Gun and Flight Simulator.
Yeah,
so
you were on it. I was not. And I think did you
that's funny.
did you ever play Top Gun on the NES?
No,
No.
That was a horrible game. So good for you guys. I did. There was a lot of
Wait,
dying.
is that the one where you can't land it very well?
Yeah.
You
It
just
would be so much
crash into the
fun.
side of
You'd
it?
zip around. I mean, zip around in the sense of like what you can do on a NES. But you'd zip around and shoot all these guys and feel really cool, and then you'd go to land on your carrier and die like 90% of the time. At least I would.
Well, when you were a kid, I'm sure Top Gun NES looked like Flight Simulator in your head.
Yeah,
So
totally true. And maybe if I tried to land now, I was probably an impatient child that didn't want to go through like the setup of having to land. So I'm sure it might not seem as difficult now, but I remember just dying a lot.
yeah, I was like that with Pilot Wings. So can you imagine yeah.
Yeah, you had to follow those balls down, and if you didn't, man, you were not gonna make it. The Ascent, which we've known about for a while, so looks like a cool game. Comes out July 29th. Gonna be a Game Pass game. Co-op shooter-y type thing. Yeah, looks cool. Anybody got anything on that?
No, other than it's nice to have a solid date for it because we've been it's been in the rumor mill for a while now. So
yeah, it's been into July. We thought it was going to be July, but we didn't have an exact date. And then
the next one I'm very excited
Take
for.
it.
So Among Us is finally coming to console, or at least to the Xbox. So I don't know if it's already on the PlayStation or not, but I know it's on the Switch. I've played it mobile. But yeah, that's coming soon, along with an expansion of people that you can play. The number of people you can play with, does that go up to 15 people now?
Yeah, it's going to 15. There's a lot of cool stuff they're doing with them. 15 people, new roles, so you can. They didn't expand with that, so I'm guessing there's more than imposter and crew now. There's a hide and seek mode coming out, and there's a new map. But the way it sounds is that new map's not gonna be. It might be later than those other things. Tim, you saved me on this. I didn't even realize this. I never searched for it on Xbox because I play it on mobile and I play it on Switch, so I've never been like, I want to play Among Us on Xbox. I mean, it's great for people who want to and can now. But yeah, I was like, I didn't understand what the news was, quite frankly. Didn't realize it wasn't already out.
I know Jay, as my eldest daughter, is going to be really excited about this because I know she plays it mobile with friends. So I occasionally pop my head around the corner and she's on a phone in an Instagram call with a few people playing it that way. So
it's fun. We play it a lot with a family friend or another family. I don't know, another family that we're friends with. There you go. That's what I'm trying to say.
On their site, it says coming soon to PS4 and PS5 as well. So
cool.
All right, cool.
A lot of places you can get it, and it says it'll be cross-platform, cross-save compatible as well.
Oh yeah. I forgot to mention that. Thanks, Tim. Yeah, and that's really cool. They just added an account in the last update. They just added accounts, so you have to have to sign up for, and so that obviously makes sense why they did that. So the account's there, and now you can hook it to multiple platforms. This, yeah, like Tim said, this is coming soon, so we don't really know if it's going to be in July. I just plugged it in here because it seemed like it likely a spot, but we don't. If it wasn't going to be here, who knew where I was going to plug it? A game that the Discord has been raving about, Hades, is coming to Xbox and coming to Game Pass, let alone. So, save me some money because I've wanted to try this game and I've just kind of been sitting it on my wish list. So, I'm good with that. Anybody played it here?
No,
I haven't played it yet. I'm looking forward to having that opportunity because
Yeah.
of this being on Game Pass. Because I've been wanting to play it. It's just again, time has been a factor, and with it being on Game Pass when it comes out, that's going to make it much easier just to be able to jump in and try it out. So, and that's what I like about Game Pass is because of that. I've probably spent too much money trying out games, so and not finishing them. So because of either didn't work out or didn't hold my interest long enough, and I move on to the next shiny thing. So this definitely helps with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Save some money not doing that.
12 minutes. Our friends who helped us react, John and Jesse, were super excited. I just have issues with games that don't give me really anything about what they are. And I know John was like, well, if you knew what it was, then you'd know the whole game. And I was like, well, I guess, okay. But for me, it's just like, I want to know, what am I doing? What's the point? Like, I don't know. I'm sure it's a fun game. I'll try it. It's on Game Pass. Let me say that. I don't mean to crap on it. I don't know what it is.
It boasted some really good actors' voices. If I remember rightly in the credits for it. That was so, but it's very what was it now I was going to say?
Story-based game?
Yeah. Like it? I'm trying to just
it's basically you pick it's like choose your own adventure almost like type thing where you're picking what's going to happen in the 12 minutes and the things that you pick affect what's going to happen, and then you learn from that. If I understood correctly, you learn from that mistake, and I think that you rewind or you start the day over. It's like Groundhog Day, I think is what John said. So and you start over and then you try to correct those choices by getting through the 12 minutes essentially safely.
So the player controls a husband during these events in the style of a point-and-click adventure game where he is free to do various actions without taking certain actions. Over the course of 12 minutes, the man learns his wife is pregnant, but a police officer arrives at the apartment, accuses the wife of murdering his father several years ago, and in trying to arrest her, knocks out the husband and attacks and kills the wife with her unborn child.
Where are you reading this from? Can I ask?
Wikipedia.
Yeah, I don't know how much of this is spoilers. That's why I just
Sorry. No. The game then restarts at the original point, at which the player can now try to take actions.
I don't think there could be spoilers because the game is not out anywhere.
Okay, I didn't know if it was on Steam because some of those things come out quick to Steam, so I didn't know. Okay,
I think it's still in development.
Okay,
if I understood correctly. I could be wrong, but it is also it's been a while, but I could have swore this is also coming to Switch. So.
Yeah,
because I remember seeing it at an indie somewhere. Because I've been interested in this game before this point.
Yeah, and so I guess let me back up because I came out harsh. I'm crapping on the trailer more than the game. I don't know much about the game. I thought the trailer didn't do a good job of making me like. If they would have shown gameplay and just read that in the style of their voiceover, I probably would have been more interested in this game. Like I just was a little like, well, I don't know even what I got.
So when I said that they've got some famous voices in there, you've got James McAvoy, which we all know from either is it Glass, or he was
Professor X too in the new
Professor X, in X-Men. You've got Daisy Ridley, who was Rey in the Star Wars Force Awakens, and William Dafoe, who obviously was in Spider-Man a couple of times and some very good films over the years. So that's three pretty big voices to have in the game.
And it looks like it's only Xbox, and maybe that's where I saw it before too, is in a previous Xbox.
Yeah, So August
thing.
19th is the release for that. So, but I mean, the guy that is putting it in development is a former artist with Rockstars and Ubisoft. So, and it takes much of his inspiration from people like Stanley Kubrick, who has made some fantastic movies in the past. So, you've got a guy with previous experience with massive developers who's got an absolute love for twisted style of films and stuff like that. So, and some big name actors. So I want to give this a go because I quite like the idea of the game.
This one is my first game that you mentioned that is a day one play for me, if at all possible for me. So, or at least close to day one.
It seems like a really cool xCloud game. I mean, if it's I hope it's on xCloud. I don't know that it is. I'm just saying. I mean, if it is around that time frame, it's point and click. I mean, it just seems like something you could almost pull. Seems like it could almost be really well played on a mobile device. So yeah, I could see that. Psychonauts 2 is next on the calendar, August 25th. I put in a note here for myself so that I remember this. Man, in the first Psychonauts 2, they had Jack Black in that thing so much. He was highly he was the center of the trailer. In this one, I never even saw him. You never saw him, and I don't know that I really heard his voice. So I wonder. I'm sure he's still in there. I haven't heard anything otherwise, but it was just funny to me. I'm very excited to play this game. I played an hour, 2 hours of the first Psychonauts for Game Pass News. I thought it seemed like a fun idea, but there was just I didn't have enough nostalgia to fight through the fact that it showed its age as a platformer and as a video game. So I'm sure if you have the nostalgia for it, you don't even see that. You just are just excited to be playing your Psychonauts, this game you loved, as many of us Nintendo fans can relate to. I saw its age and I couldn't see playing on. But this one looks crisp and awesome and fun, and it still got the quirky psychedelicness.
Yeah, off the back of Jack Black being involved, it's very possible that given the pandemic and things that were happening, he's now doing the voice of Claptrap in Borderlands, the live action movie. So it's possible that he might not be involved anymore, but don't hold me to that.
Yeah.
It all depends.
That's a guess, not news. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was interesting to me. Tim, are you a Psychonauts fan? You interested?
I am interested. I liked the first game too. I didn't beat it or anything. I probably just dabbled in it from a rental, but because I can't remember how I got to play it, but I did play a little bit of it, and it is something that has always interested me story-wise, how that game went, and looking forward to trying this one out in Game Pass as well. It also depends though, because of August 25th, it's also going to depend on what else is coming out around that time. So we'll find out more from Nintendo, but we'll see.
Yep.
Hey Sean, why don't you take like the next 4?
Okay. Diablo 2, a game that I have very little interest in, unfortunately. So
really? I thought you did. Well, there you go, Sean.
No.
Here's. I actually do. I do if in our community, if I say, does anybody want to play with me on this game? I would have fun playing with a group. I don't want to like jump in with random people, but I'd be excited to play with a group. So.
I can remember trying to play this when it was on PC years ago, and not really knowing what the hell was going on. And I apologize if you can hear my neighbour with his motorbike. I think he's been working on it all morning and just took the opportunity now to
it's a little bit muffled. It's all right.
But yeah, I can remember playing it, and it was very point and click, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was like, and it's not for me. Go back to Quake. So it was that kind of era where I was playing Quake and Doom.
So for me, this one is not on Game Pass, so it's going to be harder for me to play unless I buy it, if it being available on say PC. So and that's, or if it's cross-play, then I can maybe play it on PS4 if it's available there. I don't know, but yeah, this will be harder for me to play, but as one I do want to play because of I love the Diablo games, and the capability, especially when playing with others. So
Mm-hmm.
in group play. So
Yeah, I know John was excited about this during the live event, so there'll be a few people who want to play it with you, Nick, probably in the
Yeah,
community. So
and it is coming to everything. So if you're not even, it's not just Xbox. It's coming to Switch and the whole shindig. So
so
hopefully
fingers
there is
crossed for
a
crossplay then, yeah.
yeah.
yeah, mm-hmm, exactly. So
So next on the list, and this is one that I can get behind because I've played all the others to date, is Far Cry. And get it Far Cry 6, I believe. The
Yes.
sixth one, yes.
Yes.
Um,
On
this one
my
looks
prediction
awesome.
list for hopefully coming to cloud on on a
Yeah.
Switch.
So, I mean, this one looks interesting. I played them all. Played 4, and then it went Primal, and I've dabbled in 5 for a little bit, but they kind of get same old, same old. So the strategy behind it is the same, but knowing that I'm going to be trying to overthrow the face actor and voice actor for the main villain is going to be the sole purpose for me playing the game, because he was was it El Palo? I can't remember the name of it. He's the Chicken Man from Breaking Bad.
oh
so
yeah,
he's the he's the reason why I want to play this game, because I
mm-hmm.
want to overthrow him. But yeah, I mean, if it's going to be its next gen, so graphically wise and gameplay wise, it's probably going to be a lot of fun,
Yeah.
because this is one of those games where, as well as NPCs that you need to kind of watch out for, there's animals and traps and all
Mm-hmm.
sorts of different stuff. So
Yeah, I'm in. I've played a couple. And this one actually probably has the trailers always kind of grip me. The Xbox showcase was no, it wasn't the Xbox showcase. Can't remember what we saw it in, or maybe it was last year. It was a presentation from last year. Maybe it was Ubisoft's the Ubi Forward from last year. But it always kind of grabs me. It's the one where he has the grenade in his hand, like he puts the grenade in the son's hand. Like I just remember being totally gripped by that little like 2 or 3 minute trailer. There was the boat scene in the last in this Ubi Forward, which really grabbed me, and it was like I don't know. It just seems like there might be some good writing and some real good stuff in this. I'll give it a shot. You got to pay for this one though, Tim. You in enough to pay for it?
It's the Far Cry stories always interest me, but I never got into them, so never bought the game to do that. So if it's something that I eventually rent, maybe. But what I agree with Nick is the how when they first showed it off, that the story does appeal to me, especially when they first showed it off. Just that whole aspect of a dad trying to convince his son to take over eventually, and his son obviously is more about humanity than his father, so it'd be interesting to see how that goes.
yeah, that's October 7th this year as well. So that's like going to be one of Ubisoft's blockbusters for the end of the year. So I mean, they've got the Rabbids 2 in the bag as well. So
Yeah.
for the Switch, which I'm excited for that as well. So it'll be a toss up between Far Cry 6 or Rabbids. So.
They just need to mash those now.
No,
Far rabbits. Sorry, couldn't help myself.
So Back for Blood, that looked interesting. It's very much like well, it is made by the people that did Left 4 Dead. So this is online co-op, 4 player, I believe. 4 player if you want to do the story mode in co-op. I really enjoyed Left 4 Dead. There was a lot of mods you could do on the PCs, which sometimes made me wish I had the PC to do it, because you could do a future armor mod where all the zombies look like the lobster guy. I can't remember his name now. But yeah, not fans. Zoidberg, Professor Zoidberg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like all the zombies turned into him,
Yeah.
you played the character, the other characters like Bender the Robot, Farnsworth, Fry, and Leela. And look at that, and pulling all these out of the bag now.
You got him.
Futurama. There you go.
So
Futurama.
yeah.
Kid.
So like there was mods where you could do that, and that kind of like it was comical but also creepy at the same time. They added what they've done though in this is they've done a PvP style. So one team plays the humans and one team plays the zombies. It's an aspect that I don't think I'd enjoy about the game because I've tried it in others and it's not very good. Like Monster Hunter, I believe, did this where like a load of people played the person tracking down the monster and the one person played the monster, and it never sat right with me. I could never really get into it. So
I'm actually excited about that aspect of it. So, but I don't have that experience like you do, Sean, and other games that had attempted this. But the reason why this one looked a little bit more feasible to me was because it looked like it wasn't just one zombie. It looked like there may be a bigger zombie, but then there's other supporting zombies.
yeah,
Potentially. So it'll be interesting how they set that up. But I thought that was pretty cool, where you could be either human or zombie, and your player versus player that way.
I have no interest.
and yeah, I'm gonna say it's horror based, so Nick's got zero interest in this game.
We're gonna play this at Halloween. Come on, Nick. What are you talking about?
You guys have at it.
Yeah. So the next one that they showed off, I don't think we're going to need to cover a great deal because we mentioned it in the prediction podcast, and it's everywhere because DICE did their own drop with a video and stuff like that. But Battlefield 2042, the footage that we saw was the pre-alpha footage, which actually was pretty good footage for a game that's still in development, or the back end of its development. It's going to be massive. The maps are going to be huge. 128 players in one map is crazy. It's just Nick's currently doing the campaign for Battlefield 4 and enjoying that.
Absolutely,
if he's brave enough to ever try the multiplayer.
Yeah, I don't think I ever will. No, it just wouldn't be my thing. Like, just to be honest.
I think that's got similar size of playing field as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the campaign in that is so much fun. Like, I am absolutely loving it. I just got through the third mission, the second mission where I had to blow up the tank. Oh my gosh, thing killed me like so many times. I was trying to drop the mines and get the tank to come my way without blowing me up. That was crazy, but it's been a lot of fun. It was a good top 10, Sean, and I'm glad. I would not have tried it without you putting it on your top 10. Kudos to you.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't think we need to say much more about that apart from it's going to try and blow anything that the Call of Duty saga has tried.
And
apart from it hasn't got a battle royale.
Yeah, I will say it's only battle royale, right? There's no campaign in this one, right? I'm fairly certain that's
no campaign.
True. Yeah,
no campaign.
Because that was a big hubbubaloo when DICE dropped it on. And I was a little like, what's the big deal? But I get it now. Like, if you were a fan of that campaign that I'm playing right now, I get why you're really bummed. I mean, okay, we need to all be adults and not just spew stupidness on the Twitter. So I'm not condoning that. But I can get why you're bummed. They did the same thing
with the Call of Duty games too, where I think there was a game where it didn't have a campaign and everybody blew up about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last game they came out with had a campaign. So
yeah.
So I'm done.
Yeah, and the next one, Age of Empires, which is PC only, which is good news for Tim. Bad news for me or Nick, who we're interested to see how a game like this, a point-and-click build strategy style game, would have worked on a console, and we're now not ever going to get to figure that out because...
I think the fact that it's not on the console tells you exactly how it would have worked. Yeah. Like crap. That's how.
Yeah, they probably tried it. They were like, "Oh, we need to be able to make this work. Come on, how can we do it?" And it's like, no.
Yeah.
No.
And kudos to Third Strongest Mole over here, who says, "Woo, Age of Empires." He's a PC Game Pass guy too. So good for you guys. I'm happy for you.
Sam, we should get together and play.
There you go. Yeah.
So that's again
Oh,
October
sorry.
28th. Sorry.
I was going to mention for the Age of Empires, out of the multiple predictions that we had, including my, several that I had, this was one I actually called. So
It's true,
I
yeah.
point that out. A new Age of Empires game, possibly not. So out of the what I have, maybe 8 guesses I had here, I had maybe 2 I got right. One for sure fully right. The other one was partially right, which was the
like I
Psychonauts
said,
2 game.
we're the weatherman of E3, so I feel like you're right on target. So that's about just
There we
about
go.
the right amount.
25% accurate so far. So the next one, I will take this because I am the next 3
Just keep on
are all
going.
game.
You
Yeah, I'm
just
going to
keep
say
on
the
going.
next 3 I'm really excited for, but this one, Forza Horizon, they haven't given it a name. They've just so I'm going to call it Forza Horizon Mexico because it's based
5.
in 5.
Yeah.
Based in Mexico. They've boasted that they've done a lot of work with the HDR side of things, so captured real life landscapes over multiple periods to give you the kind of a feel that you are actually there. So they've put a lot of legwork into this, which luckily for some people has meant they've been doing a lot of stopping over in different parts of Mexico and kept sitting there and kept helping capturing scenes of beautiful landscapes. So I don't feel bad for the people that have put a lot of hard work into this.
Yeah.
It's looks like it's been nice, but I mean, again, they've hit really hard. And the prediction I came out with was that they needed Microsoft needed the Mercedes AMG 1 project car to kind of sell a Forza game while we were talking about it, and this they have. It's the car that they kept going back to, that they've got this hypercar that you can drive around in Mexican landscapes in and stuff like that. So
this is on my top 5 for Microsoft list. So this is on my radar. It's on my horizon.
I like it.
Yeah, this is going to be a day one release for me. I think it's great that they're bringing it straight to Game Pass because, again, this is a game that I'd probably and ahed about a lot and maybe not spent money on, depending on what else is released that time of year. So, but November 5th, 2021. That's one of their Christmas blockbusters, I believe.
So Sean, do I need to play Forza Horizon 4 or should I wait till 5 for your top 10? How does this gotta go? Like, Forza Horizon's on my list to play for the summer of top 10 game. Should I just wait?
Yes, because the one that's set in the UK isn't as good as this one looks like it will be, and isn't as good as Horizon 3. So Forza Horizon 3 was really good for how it was set. Forza Horizon 4 focuses on the seasons of the UK, and can get quite annoying that you've got to be backwards and forwards between seasons to do different races. So I found that aspect of it quite annoying.
All right, I will wait. I will say, I mean, I actually thought driving through the jungle seemed like a really fun idea. Like I could see myself having fun with this game, playing with people that I know. Getting the little piñatas, like, that seems like a blast. Like, that just seems like super fun. Like, oh, there's they were like, oh, there's one over here. I'm gonna go left. You go right. Let's see how many. Yeah. I just thought that was super cool. I'd do that all day long.
And that's why during the presentation, it was really good that that was their main talking point for anybody, any kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, people, to have people involved, jumping between different developers and stuff like that, and talking about it, and different people doing different aspects of the team for the development of the game, getting involved, which was really nice. It was nice. The Zoomception, as I called it, with a Zoom call and a Zoom call, because we were doing it that way. But I mean, that game looks beautiful. They did a really good job of how they showed it off. They've got me super excited. The fact that I get to drive the AMG 1, which is a road legal Formula 1 car, basically.
That's what I love about those games. I can drive cars I can't really drive in real life.
No, 1.7 million car that you get to race around Mexican jungle. So
yes.
Yeah, I just I always like to look at a trailer too. Like I said, the one I crapped on that one trailer more than the game was I just didn't think the trailer was well done. I thought this trailer was so well done. Like, they started out really about maybe like you and targeting like Sean and Tim. They were, you know, they showed that car, they showed what you guys wanted to see, how real it was and all that stuff. And then like in the end, and I'm like, I'm out, you know, like I was like Justin and Pokemon, man. I just take a snooze here because I don't even know what this car is. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just gonna snooze out. But then like all of a sudden it was like they transitioned to like this. Okay, hey, we don't
Viva
take
Pinata.
yeah, exactly. Hey, we have a bunch of cool real cars that drive, you know, real or as real as they can be. But also, we don't take ourselves so seriously that look what else we can do too and have some fun too. And I really appreciated that. And that's where I was like out, and I was like, well, I'm not playing this. And all of a sudden, I was like, well, I don't know. I play if Sean said he wanted to try to catch some pinatas, I would be in on that. That looks fun, you know. So I thought they did a really good job with that.
And then there's the collectible side of things, so like all the beauty spots and stuff that you've got to go and
Yeah.
try and collect.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's real neat. Were you guys
There's a lot
at
to
all, Sean? You mentioned this. I'm not, you know, I'm fine with third person. Or third car. I don't know. No, we'll stick with third person. Are you at all nervous that we didn't see any in the driver's seat? Does that worry you, or do you care, or you know, are fine, or?
It doesn't worry me. It annoyed me a little bit that they didn't showcase at least the cockpit of the AMG one, but I don't think I've actually seen any photos of the cockpit of the AMG one. So because it's still a project car in development and still in testing, they're doing live testing. A couple of weeks ago on the Nürburgring, there are two going around there. So, and it was a closed circuit for that. They didn't let any other cars on the circuit at the time, so they are keeping that quite close to the chest. Why they didn't show us for any of the others, like the Bronco and stuff like that, they could have showed us the internals of, because you can buy them on the road now, so people know what they look like. But whether or not they are still working on that, it's a game still potentially in the back end of development, so it's the fine tuning of things, and they didn't want to drop the ball graphically on what they already had. So,
gotcha.
Yeah. So moving on, another game that I'm really excited for. You guys kind of like, you and John bashed it a little bit because the snow didn't look very real, but Shredders, man, it looks so cool. I mean, I liked Steep for the thing where you could, like, for the snowboarding aspect of it. I liked Steep. I didn't enjoy the wingsuit action or the skiing too much, and the other vehicle, like the other means of traversing the mountain. But Shredders looks like it just focuses on the snowboarding side of things for as far as we could see. And if they've got the physics right, so like they've been able to butter really well, which is a term for sliding on the nose or tail of the snowboard, and controlling that well, and the physics for getting on and off rails, if they've kind of honed that down where it was difficult to do that on Steep, it's sold for me, because yeah, that was what Steep was missing, was the physics and the ability to traverse different obstacles in different ways, as well as getting down the mountain, which was nice. But Shredders looks like it's been, well, as it says, it's built for riders by riders. So
yeah, I thought that was a good tag. Yeah, I did. I mean, when I cut your Steep footage and put it on YouTube, I was just looking at that thinking, I always try to like watch at least, you know, about 10 minutes of whatever you do, so that I have a good, not a good idea, but I at least have an idea of what the game's about. And I just remember looking at the way you were cutting in the snow, and just the way like it just powdered over to one side and powdered back, and your board would sink a little and not sink other times, and the crunch, and I was like, dang, like, I mean, I can hear it. Like, I feel like I'm like, if I close my eyes, I'm there. And the sound was, and so, yeah, when I looked at this, he kind of just rides on top of the snow. Like, there's only like an inch of snow on the ground the entire time, you know? And
yeah,
you just
most of it
that,
though
you
is
see that difference.
When I've been, because I've only ever been on one mountain, so, and it was the mountain range behind Mont Blanc in France. On the created runs that you, let's say the blacks, reds, and stuff like that, where it had been like trimmed down, you don't get, because it's compacted, you don't sink too much. It's only when you go off piste and things like that. So because most of these look like little tracks that are being made with the jumps and stuff like that, you aren't going to sink. I'm hoping there is an off piste section for it, and you can just kind of go your own way a little bit. But sure, yeah, we shall see.
Yeah, but I mean, you're right. It's all about gameplay in the end. I mean, you know, who cares if your board doesn't sync? But
The next one, that's like I said, that's December 21, so that's going to be potentially. Well, I'd say it would have been potentially a game that I bought around my birthday for myself, or asked for around the birthday time. But it's coming to Game Pass, so I don't need to.
there you go.
Which is nice.
Gotta love it.
The next one on the list, and is the last one that I take lead on for now, because the next few I'm not overly keen on, is Halo Infinite. Now,
You just gave a teaser before we get into this. Sean just said he's not overly keen for Starfield. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, we'll tease what's coming next. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm excited for Halo Infinite. For the sheer fact that I want to play the multiplayer. I haven't played a multiplayer Halo in a long time. This is Halo 3. Mainly because I don't like people that jump around too much. It's my biggest bugbear when I'm playing Warzone, when somebody jumps around and suddenly crouches to the ground and springs up like a coiled spring and bounces around a car, and it's like, just stand still and let me shoot you.
That's what I say all the time. They never do.
But yeah. But no, I mean, I'm keen to play it and see what it's like, especially next gen style. It'd be really fluid gameplay. So, and the fact that they've made the online multiplayer free, and it's a buy to play for the campaign, is really interesting.
I think that's great. That's a great way to go. Tim, what do you think? What have you thought about your thoughts on Halo Infinite?
Again, it's another series that I've always been interested in, but I never had an Xbox. I got to play the first Halo, because I was helping someone fix their original Xbox, and they had the Halo disc in there. I can't remember what I was trying to fix, but whatever it was, I got it to work, and I tried out the Halo game, and I really enjoyed it. I like campaign settings in the first person shooter environment, because of Doom, and probably because of Metroid Prime and all that kind of stuff. But I'm looking forward to the campaign, and I'm intrigued by the free multiplayer, especially I was watching another podcast show on YouTube yesterday. It was the Gaming Dad, or the Gamer Dad. I can't remember which one his name is. Gaming or Gamer. But anyways, somebody in the chat mentioned he was particularly excited about the Halo multiplayer because of the potential that Xbox could share that game with Nintendo, and you play online multiplayer on the Switch with the Halo game, because it could be like Fortnite, where you could go in and play Halo at that quality on your Switch. But obviously, if you want better quality graphic wise, you go to the Xbox, and it would be between those two systems. That's another one that could potentially be announced. Who knows? But
yeah. I never even thought about that. That's
I didn't
cool.
even cross my mind either. And I was like, oh, interesting. So maybe not day one, maybe later on down the line. Who knows? But that's exciting. And again, being Game Pass accessible, who knows? Maybe I can jump in on it then. But I am more excited about the campaign, because that's what I prefer. Maybe like you, Nick. I'm not as good in the multiplayer setting. But I am interested in the story side of it. So
I will say this, and I hope they add this. So I agree with everything. I agree with you, Tim. That's kind of where I'm at. I love that idea of Nintendo. Man, that is huge. That would be huge, at least. I hope they don't. I hope you can do private matches. Maybe they'll do something like what EA has done with Knockout City, where it's like it's free to play, but if you're in the free to play mode, you can't do private matches. But if you buy the game, and by the way, it's only free to play for like 25 levels, so it's not free to play continuously, but not like Fortnite is. But once you buy the game, you can do private matches. I'm hoping, I hope they don't get rid of that part of Halo, because Halo is fun when I'm playing with like 4 guys that I know, and I just want to goof around on a map with those people like that. Like that's my favorite thing to do.
That capture the flag one does look like fun if you had enough people to do that. Like if it was like a game night type thing, community wide,
but I only want it to be dads who, I only want it to be us dads. Sure, there's some of us dads are better than others, but I'm fine with that. but like I'm not going to be playing with people who are playing online like 24/7 who have which shooters, and I hope that there's still that in there that you can play with a private match with people you. So. But other than that, I'm down for Halo. I haven't played since Halo 3. That was the last one that I actually beat. And I am all about it. I do want to give a call out to Sam, Third Strongest Mole. He has been on our chat. He's been in our chat continuously, and we appreciate that. He calls out Lemniscate. And I saw that wasn't in this. That wasn't in the E3 presentation, but that game does look super cool. It's like a time-based shooter where you can kind of move. You get to move pieces of. Get to move your guys around to different spots. It is coming to Game Pass, but you get to move your guys around after each run, see what they do, and then both sides get to change their people around just a little bit and redo it. And if you're, I'm not doing it justice, so check it out if you're interested in those kind of shooters with a hook, because this has like that special time-based hook in it. It looks pretty cool. I'm interested in it as well. So Starfield, Sean, you're really not interested in Starfield?
I'm not sure. I'd need to I need to look back over the video footage of it. I liked with Starfield the one with the launch date in the console.
Yep, 11/11/22.
I liked that. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I thought, wow, that's a really good way of.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the presentation, but I need to look at it. A lot of people are saying, oh, it's like Elder Scrolls in space and stuff like that. It's like, I need to see more gameplay and figure it out and see if it was going to be something that I'd want to put that much time into.
Yeah, so
it sounds cool. I definitely want to learn more about it. Definitely.
I think that's where we can sit with that. Yeah, so to be fair, I'm not sold on it. Like, I think we've had too many cyberpunk moments recently where a big studio brings out a big game and everybody thinks it's going to be a big hit, and then
No Man's Sky.
So we definitely need. I am excited to know more. I wouldn't say I'm excited about it, but I'm excited to know more. So I can appreciate that. That's Sean, I know you're short on time, so
I need to collect some children. So
yeah, I totally get that. Is there anything you are super excited? So we are out of this year now. Let me say that. So that is all the games that they announced for the rest of this year. Is there any games that they announced in 2022 that you are excited for or want to know more about? We'll let you pick and choose where we go.
Party Animals. I'm quite
out of this whole list. That's where you go first. I love it.
Yeah.
And so all the games we're talking about now just have dates of 2022. Nothing else is solid. So go for it, Joe.
So Party Animals, I'm interested in Stalker 2 because that, like, the whole Chernobyl thing grips me no end for some strange reason.
It's a past life thing. He must have died in past life in Chernobyl.
It's just the whole event. I think it's because of the industry that I work in.
That makes sense.
I can kind of relate. Like when we watched the dramatic one that they did on Sky, with like the whole. It was filmed in the actual control room of one of the units and stuff like that. It's like I was looking at Lindsay and I was like, that is what it's like sometimes operating a unit. You're kind of like all looking over each other and you look back to your shift charge engineer and you're like, what do we do? And it's his call on what happens. So yeah. Is it Redfall? That's the vampire one, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is one of my top 5 for this one as well.
Is it?
Yeah, I was talking to Jaya about it last night because she's big into her games and stuff like that. So that's something that I kind of said to her, there's a vampire game coming out next year that I think could be right up your street because like what she plays online. So I'm hoping she kind of looked at that.
By the way, Redfall is we talked about like things that were mentioned but we didn't know much about, and then we mentioned Project Omen from Arcane Studios coming out in the spring of 2022. Pretty sure Project Omen is now Redfall. So because it was Project Omen from Arcane Studios, supposed to come out spring of 2022. So I'm pretty sure that was the rumor that actually came out to be true.
I want to see more information on Contraband, only because
Me too.
I liked the video. It was very like it took me back to watching Deadpool for the first time, when like the credits are rolling at the start of the film and they're taking you through steps of what's actually happening in the scene that you're about to see, and it's like a game by such and such, and like they were showing you the photos and stuff. That gripped me, and I was thinking, oh, what can they like? What is this game actually about? Because they didn't really show a great deal other than that, really.
Yeah. Yeah, all these games really, none of these games really had that much. Any of them actually even have gameplay? Well, I guess Slime Rancher did. I can't believe you haven't mentioned Slime Rancher yet, Sean. I mean, geez, come on.
It was too colourful, far too colourful and crazy looking. John looked absolutely disgusted by it while it was on.
There's a part of me that wants to play Slime Rancher now, just to get a feel for what it is.
So a lot of these, when they were showing them and there wasn't a right lot of gameplay or information, I kind of went to looking at people's faces, and like, John literally just looked like somebody had crapped in his cereal. It just tickled me. So yeah. Outer Worlds, because of that Outer Worlds 2 announcement, I have downloaded the original. It's currently sat on the dashboard. I had to delete Call of Duty Cold War, the actual campaign and multiplayer, to make room for that. So,
this is the one that would possibly make me buy an Xbox, because I love the first game so much. Still playing it, like I mentioned before, and rejuvenated to get back in there and hopefully finish it. But Outer Worlds 2, I'm excited that it was announced. Unfortunately for me, not having an Xbox, it is Xbox only, exclusive to that system. So Game Pass, maybe I could play it on PC, that type of thing. So there's potential there. So, but that if it's not, this may get me to buy, an Xbox. So because I really like what they did with the first series. So
yeah, I'd like to. I want to get that. I want to get Outer World done too before 2 comes out. I'm interested.
We may have some time there, though. It looks like.
Yeah, I got a little while. So that's good.
Yeah, so no date.
So those are, and we're just going through these really quick because, well, quite frankly, we don't know that much about a lot of these. Just gameplay trailers is about all we got. So, what about you? What about you, Tim? Out of what we've chatted about, anything that you're super interested?
Well, pretty sure we got through everything except for one more game on my list of, like, especially the top 5, because I had
Iden Chronicle, I guess.
Right. No, you're good. It's like 12 minutes is on top 5.
Okay. Yeah, go through your top 5, even if we've already
Age of Empires,
Okay.
Outer Worlds 2, Forza Horizon 5, Redfall, and then Replaced. That one, we were all trying to figure out what that was. Like, it was flashback or something like that. I think you said it looked like.
Yes, that's the one that I couldn't, because we've just got a list of names. I'm like trying to jog my memory, but yeah, Replace was the one that had the.
So I did find more information on that game because obviously during the video it didn't explain very well what that game was about. So I was looking, when I was looking at information about it, it was like
obviously forgettable because we were out. I did not know either. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna try to get through this caption really quick because I also have to go collect a kid as well. So, but looks and sounds rad is what I put down, but it's the explanation I got from bleedingcool.com is Replaced is set almost 40 years after a nuclear explosion in a walled fortress known as Phoenix City, ruled by a corrupt Phoenix Corp, a company founded on matching voluntary donors with greedy clients looking to upgrade their body parts. As time went on, they found that voluntary supply was falling behind demand, and soon the richest clients could get their hands on anything, while citizens started going missing at an alarming rate. Vocal cords, legs, eyes, livers, no problem for the wealthy. By the time people realized what was happening, it was too late. Phoenix Corp was running the whole country. throwing the leftovers away and unwilling donors into the disposal areas outside the city walls to live as outlaws. The ones that survived that, at least. In the early days, the corruption started looking into AI and how this could help run their system more efficiently still, which is how the first prototypes for REACH, which is an acronym, the main AI, were created. So I thought that helped explain it a lot more and made me want to play this even more. So
Yeah,
It sounds like a very dark. It's got dark undercurrent of the game.
yes.
So, stick that with the graphics because it was like photorealistic backgrounds, but with the 16-bit pixelated art style and
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, that's good because I had no idea what was going on. So I think maybe that's why it was forgettable. Because
Right.
once I saw the picture, I remembered. So Sean, we all got dad stuff to do. So that's what happens when you're dads. So why don't you chat about our contest and then take us out, man, so that we can do our dad stuff.
The contest is now live, and that is to win 3 months worth of Game Pass Ultimate, which gets you access to all the games from the very beginning of this podcast that we talked about, like Yakuza Like a Dragon, Sea of Thieves, Grounded, Fallout, stuff like that. You can get right now. So to get in on that contest, you need to go over to our Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook and follow us on all those. There is a link to the contest in each of those, I believe. I think it's a pinned tweet. I'm not sure.
At the top
we can
of
do
our Twitter feed.
Yep. And there is a tab on the Facebook page. The end date for the competition is the 27th of June this year. We currently have...
Be a bummer if it was next year.
I could have said it'd be really long. We currently have 336 entries. So, nice. And I'm assuming the way that we're
entering
337.
Nice. I'm assuming the way that Gleam pulls this is it just pulls a name out of the hat, basically. Random name generator.
Yep. And you all have your entries. Each entry is worth so many points, and I hit a button, and one entry is chosen, and they'll let me know the name and the email of that person, and we'll get a hold of you. And we will announce the winner on whatever not next cast, but the cast after that, or 2 weeks.
Yeah, it'll be the 29th, I believe, which is Jay's birthday.
There you go.
So yeah, there we go. That's cool.
Also, real quick, before you go out, I meant to put this in your announcements, and I forgot. We are 7 followers away from having 50 followers on Twitch to have enough for the Twitch to be a Twitch affiliate. So, if you'd be so kind, that would be great. We'd really appreciate it.
Yep. Spread the news.
Appreciate all your guys' support that got us this far, this quick. You guys are awesome. All right, I'm done.
Thank you very much. So, as always, if you want to catch us and talk to us, you can get hold of us on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Just look for Game Pass News and you'll find us there. Another place where you can talk to us is over on the Nintendo Dads Discord. We are the Nintendo Dads podcast for them at the moment. So for $1 a month, you can hang out with us and just talk to us. There's loads of stuff on there that you can do. There's different tier systems for it, which get you access to different parts of the Discord. Just head over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads and subscribe, get your access, and chat away. I've been in that Discord now for nearly 3 years, and I love it. It's the reason why
I'll say this too. If anybody subscribes to your Twitch channel, we'll work on making sure you get access to Discord as well.
Whoa!
Oh man, that's cool.
Breaking news right here live on Game Pass News. That's awesome.
Yep.
Ace. So yeah, I mean, it's great. I've made some great friends like Nick. I met Frosticles on there, which he lives in the same country as me, just completely opposite end. So I've made some really good friends on there.
Like me and Nick.
Yeah.
Completely opposite side of the state.
Opposite state. Yep. There you go.
But yeah, so hurry up, get subscribed, follow us on Twitch, and Tim will deliver on his promise of getting you in there. So yeah.
He's
hope to hear from any newbies soon. Yeah, definitely. So that's it from us all. Catch you next time.
See you later, guys.
Check you later.
Recording stopped.
All right, before I stop the stream, I want to say thanks real quick to Sam for watching. He is part of Retro Logic now, a co-host of Retro Logic, so also part of the family of podcasts. So go over and and take a listen to them as well. We appreciate your support, Sam. Y'all have a good day.